Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and I have the distinguished John DeLemme.
Thank you.
Dr. John DeLemme, I'm going to say Dr. John DeLemme.
That's right.
In the house. He's Jamaican, Italian.
That's right.
So many nationalities. He represents the globe of nationalities, and he's a great great motivational speaker, author of 20 books.
Yes, sir.
I have some copies right here. I like this. 365 affirmation to absolutely guaranteed a record-breaking here by Mr. John Lemmy. I like this one. Very nice. Making capitalism. Also, I'm going to mention this great again. I like this.
And is this my first book I wrote 20 years ago?
This is your first books you were.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You were like 4 years of age then.
Yeah, you're right. That's not true. But 10 life lessons on how to find your why, know, and achieve ultimate success. We have the best right here with us this evening. It's such an honor, John, to have you on Pathway to Success. I love your tie. I often love your tie. Oh my word, make America great again.
That's right.
I love it. I love it.
America's awesome.
America's awesome. America's the greatest nation in the world.
There's no question about it.
But I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what do you do?
Well, I'll tell you, Michael, what I like is the title of your show, Pathways to Success. How awesome is that?
I like that.
And also, I like your intro. You said thought-provoking. I want to challenge all of you as you guys listen to us today. We're going to go on for about 9 hours. So we heard conversation about 9 hours. And the studio audience is like, oh my God, they got a clock. The clock just disappears on Michael and I. But I want you guys to grab a pen that writes. And my whole goal today during this time, either live or during a replay, is for you guys to provoke you to think differently. Yeah. You know, one of my quotes is, billionaires believe, think, and act completely outside of the box. So what if today we get 1% of the listeners to think outside the box and they achieve 1% of $1 billion? What's 1% of $1 billion?
Wow.
Think about the number. What's a tithe of a 1% of $1 billion? And our thoughts create our actions, and our actions create our results. And the problem right now is we're in a war of our thoughts because of all the multitasking, the distracting, the videos, the online stuff, and obviously all the smartphones, which makes you dumb because you're so distracted. You know, I tell people, grab a pen that writes, take some notes, study, learn, activate your mind. You know, especially when people see my book, Making Capitalism Great Again. That's my most recent book, and this book I wrote 20 years ago. People hear the word capitalism, they think money. No, financial rewards and results is the end result of your number one capital is your mind. God gives you a mind. God gives you a mind to learn and a heart to dream. So your two capital assets are your mind and your heart. And we have to activate that. And I really love that intro. Thought. Let's go down that path. Let's go down a new path. God has new paths and new avenues for all of you. And fear and procrastination and limiting self-beliefs is the biggest problem in America today. And, just to tell my story a little bit more, Michael, I wrote this book, and you can see I'm a little heavier back then. I look like a jib-jab head. My head's so big. Right?
Yeah, you're looking younger, like you're in the gym, huh?
I mean, this is, So I wrote this book, and some of you know my story, and obviously all you new listeners that do not know my story, you hear my accent. I'm from New York originally, from Jamaica, Queens.
You're from Jamaica, Queens?
No, Jamaica, Queens got the best Corona. They got the best ice in Queens, though. Lemon
really?
Ice. Oh, yeah. Italian ice is great. Corona.
But where are your parents from? What your parents are from?
My family's from Italy, and my mom and dad are all, obviously were born in New York and born in the Bronx. That's where my accent comes from. My dad's 92 years young. My mom's 90.
Wow.
I'm sure he's watching right now. It's interesting you asked that question, Michael. I actually have right here. What drives me? This is in 1913.
Yeah.
My dad's parents and 9 of my grandparents and then 7 of my aunts and uncles came from Italy in 1913. Legal immigration. 1913 with $160 in their pocket. 2 weeks on, and this is the boat they came over. Now I get them. We're in a obviously.
Let me see that boat.
That's the actual boat.
Oh, this is a bigger boat.
It was 2
than
weeks
the one I came over
from
on.
Italy.
No, I'm kidding.
That's
the one I came over on.
Right.
You see, you're from Jamaica.
Right.
John?
That's right.
I like this.
Everyone's coming to America because of the
Yes.
opportunity, because of the Constitution, of the freedom of our founding
Yes.
fathers that built this. That's their actual signatures, that they agreed to be upstanding citizens in America. 9 of them.
Oh, wow.
$160. They landed in 116th Street in West Harlem. That's where they lived. And we didn't know that much about them, right? My wife was here. About 6 months ago, my wife did some serious research. And in 1913, that's my grandma Nana. She came in
Nana.
9 years of age, couldn't read English.
Yes.
Couldn't speak English, couldn't read. But they came to America, so I fight, not physically, but with words, relationships, so every day for the greatness of this country. They came here for better pathways, for success.
Yes.
No one says, let's go to America and fail. Let's go to America and not succeed. So that, some of our questions today, what's got to drive, what's your why, what's your purpose, what's your reason? And for me, going back to my story come from a very loving Italian family, which means there's 9 zillion kids. As I was playing with that awesome young man earlier, we got a great video of him slicing me in the floor with the sword. He dropped me, right? We'll talk about the sword here in a little bit. But it was awesome to see that young man, 3 years young, the spirit of God, the spirit of freedom, the spirit of faith, the spirit of just loving life. And I had all brothers and come from a large Italian family.
So you had all brothers?
All brothers.
How many of you?
4 of us.
4 of us.
4 brothers. And a zillion cousins.
Yeah.
And in the Italian family, if there's no blood, you don't go to the hospital. In other words, you can just beat everybody up, everything's fine. If there's no blood, don't call us, just come up and eat when you guys are finished. And what happened was they started to notice, and this is I want everyone, as you take notes, God will put you through a season for a reason. God will put you through a greater purpose for your long-term destiny. And when at the age of 4, coming from a large Italian family, they started to notice. They started to take notice that I wasn't speaking. And they thought I was mute. They thought I couldn't hear. This is so impactful for this day and age we're in right now, because there's the enemy of distraction. So they thought that I couldn't speak. They thought I couldn't hear. So I went to Lawrence Hospital. I was 4 years of age. I was born in 1965. In 1969, I went to the hospital, and it was a cherry mahogany table about this size, and I put these big headphones on, kind of the ones the kids wear now in the gym. You think the big, huge ones. Put them on like this, and they said every time you hear a whistling sound, knock on the table. They just assumed I was deaf, so I couldn't hear. That means I wasn't speaking. They came out and they said, Mr. and Mrs. Delemy, your son speaks fine. Excuse me, your son hears fine. He has a speech impediment. And the word impediment means blocker. It means impeding the growth of, impeding the pathway. If there's a blocker on a pathway, there's something impeding the growth of it. So long story short, they said you have a speech impediment. At the age of 4 to age 18, I went to speech class. I was clinically diagnosed at age 18, a clinically diagnosed stutter and a stammerer. I failed my oral report in high school. I had a full scholarship to college, the first Delemy from my entire lineage all the way back to Italy, the first Delemy to get to graduate high school and go on to college.
Wow.
I had a full scholarship to Mercy College, Pace University, and I own a college, all obviously out of New York, full scholarship, but I lost the scholarship because those of you that are watching that know the New York State Regents diploma, New York State comes in and does a separate test for you. And they came in, and the way God worked, it was my Italian class, and I had to say the Our Father in Italian.
Really?
Out loud, which means when you're stuttering stammerer, you get up and your vein inside your neck is pounding like this, and your ankles are pounding, you're ready to faint. And I literally said, in the name of the positive field of Spirito Santo, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and that was it. I started to stutter. And I remember the priest, and I never point to anybody because I believe in the power of focus, the power of words. He pointed at me, and I remember his finger saying, are you with us or against us, Delemy? And that day, I didn't know the Spirit of God. I wasn't saved then. I was going to Catholic school, so this is obviously, as a pastor, the whole process. I was confused, and I said, he pointed at me, he said, you with us or against us? I sat down, and the Spirit in me, which I didn't know was God at that point, I said, when I talk, I ain't shutting up. That was said to me in an audible voice. To me, I didn't know what that meant. And then it was a few years later, I graduated college, number 2 business student, and I went back to my family business, which is an art business, art gallery. You see, we love giving frames out.
Frames
we blessed you guys with. And long story short, I got bored, and they said, well, take this college degree. Everyone's talking about college degree. I got a double degree in management and marketing, minor in psychology. I had an opportunity to get a scholarship for my master's to LIU, Long Island University, in business management, marketing.
So you're well learned and well spoken.
Now,
talking to you, believe me, it's amazing because there's no sign of a stutterer. You speak so fluently.
There is one, because I speak a lot. I hear it, there is a stammer and a stutter when people will pull apart, because I'm not scripted, I'm not, no teleprompter. Anyone who needs a teleprompter has no heart. I'll be very it's true. I mean, if you need a teleprompter or read from notes, you need bullet points. But you guys need to hear this. If someone gives, and I take this, and I'm very respectful when I say this, if someone's labeled a speaker, you're speaking into people's lives. Yeah. That's a responsibility God gives you, and it's a very serious responsibility, because right now there's hundreds of people watching this. There'd be tens of thousands. I'm going to take this and put it through my podcast platform. There'd be tens of thousands of listeners, and you have a responsibility to be a speaker. So you speak into people's lives. People go, I want to be a speaker. What does that mean? Just because you want to go on a stage and people say you speak good? Have you been forged by God? Have you been tested? Do you read every day? Do you learn? I get wound up on that because I see a lot of fake speakers, and it upsets me because it's a serious responsibility. So just to continue with the story and how I end up, people go, well, how'd you overcome your stammering? What happened was, everyone said, well, take that college degree and go get a corporate job, I guess. I didn't know anything else but working in an art gallery. It's all in my books. I was working in my art business, my family's business. So I answered it and said, make $10,000 a month, we'll tailor-made clothes, and drive a Mercedes-Benz. It was for the industry of network marketing. I never heard of MLM, or direct selling, and network marketing. I went out to the quote-unquote meeting. It was at the Wrightown Hilton, March 15th, 1990, at 7:35 p.m. I walked in. That was a position. God put me in that room. Everyone that prays, and you're looking for a prayer, God will give you the door to walk through, but you have to act. And I was in that room, and a young lady said, even if you choose not to get involved in a business today, if you have a goal in life to achieve, and I'm going to talk about goals today, you got to read this book, Think and Grow Rich, which I agree with 90% of the book. 10% is metaphysical freak show stuff, but 90% is generic self-development, listening and reading. And for the first time ever, Michael, I sat down, and as I say this today, I want everyone to really understand this. As I sat there that day, it was the first time since I was alive that I actually read a book to learn. I didn't read a book to pass a test. I read a book to learn. Let that sink in, everyone. In school, you read a book to pass a test. But when was the last time you read a book to learn? You see that?
Yeah.
Andrew Carnegie started the library system because he realized people weren't reading.
Right.
Taxes was too high, the government was no good, and I was full of excuses. Sound familiar? And he said, I got to start a library system. So I want everyone to realize that I read that book, and then for the first time, when I finished reading, I felt energetic about my future. And I started to read more books. And all of a sudden, one day, I felt confident.
Yeah.
Because confidence is the opposite of fear.
Yes.
Fear and confidence cannot coexist. Just like, I know we're not going to go too Christian today, but just like the devil and God can't coexist. God will supersede the devil all the time, and that's fear. So, and what I see now, I see people being not reading, not learning, they're distracted. So that's why when I saw your intro, it's thought-provoking.
Yes.
You got to provoke the thought. So that's kind of where I am today and where we are today, and I can, as you know, we got our timers going here, but we can go for days. And I say that for all of you listening because I'm proud of what you've done. I'm proud of your story. I'm proud of you coming from Jamaica and playing soccer. And if you don't know Dr. Michael's story, I mean, study this man, learn with, because it takes one story of inspiration to inspire you to act. It's so important. It's so important.
Thank you, John. Wow, thank you. You said something that really stand out clear and strongly today on the set. Many people read a book to pass a test. They don't read a book to learn.
Yep.
That is something really thought-provoking, and that is something that should inspire our viewers this evening, that whenever you take a book up, you should read the book to learn, to glean more knowledge from the book. And so this is what actually you have learned so much, and this is what you've really written to impart in the lives of people as a great, distinguished, motivational speaker, businessman, a husband, one who has
one of the
faith.
greatest husbands in America.
Oh yes, I do believe. She's right. Right. Yes. And so this is you're a great inspiration to us. You're a great inspiration to so many persons on the earth. And I like this. You said something earlier on. Billionaires believe, and I want everybody to hear this very clearly. Billionaires believe, think, act completely outside of the box.
Yep.
They're not normal acting persons. They're doing something way out of what the average human mind would think.
That's right. And that's what it is. Right now in society, there's a shifting. You know, my first book I wrote, I talk about the habit of giving. This is 20 years ago. This book was published in 2001, 2002, so 19, 20 years ago. And lesson number 3, I talk about a habit of giving. And I talk about tithing and giving 20 years ago. And right now, there's going to be a shift. Because there's many billionaires, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. It's there to go get it. You don't have to create it. It's there to go. It's going to shift. There's a shifting.
Yeah.
And I believe right now, listeners, guys, you got to innovate. You got to improve. And there's some of the greatest ideas ahead in society. And I believe that's why when you believe, think, and act, but you build your beliefs and you think and you act by what you learn. And be very careful who you ask for advice. I always talk about the nothing going on crowd. If you call someone and go, what's going on? Nothing. Don't go over. Because I'll go, I'm coming over. Nothing's going on. You know, don't go over. Just this right now, especially listening to this, you're into success. You're into, motivation. You know, the word motivation means the reason for acting, the reason, the purpose behind an act. You know, what's motivating you? What's driving you? Every day when I get up, literally, I talk about this. Your morning is the key. What you do in morning preparation, how you prepare. Every day is a day of miracles if you prepare right.
That's a question I wanted to ask you. We're going to take a short break. Wow, what a great time we're having on set with the distinguished, I call him the distinguished John Delaney, a man of excellence, a man that will motivate you into great success, but a man that will put you into a different frame of mind for you to believe in your God-given talent and go to the next level. We're going to go to a short break and we're going to come right back.
Are you ready to look and feel your best about your skin and body? Visit us at Belle Brûlée. We are here at the Mission Lakes Plaza, located near the Sal's Pizza and the Deli. Visit us to begin to feel amazing about yourself. We offer wrinkle reduction treatment, Botox, derma fillers, radio frequency, laser hair removal, and so much more. What's unique about Belle Brûlée is that we have a multidisciplinary approach to your care. We offer a team of multidisciplinary specialists who are here to take care of your skincare needs. It's 2021. Come on, join us. Make an appointment now to begin living your best life. Are you ready to look and feel your best about your skin and body? Visit us at Belle Brûlée. We are here at the Mission Lakes Plaza, located near the Sal's Pizza and the Deli. Visit us to begin to feel amazing about yourself. We offer wrinkle reduction treatment, Botox, derma fillers, radio frequency, laser hair removal, and so much more. What's unique about Belle Brûlée is that we have a multidisciplinary approach to your care. We offer a team of multidisciplinary specialists who are here to take care of your skincare needs. It's 2021. Come on, join us. Make an appointment now to begin living your best life.
Oh, no, we got a lot.
Welcome back to Pathway to Success. I'm sitting right here next to me, the distinguished John Delemy, author of over 20 books, and one of the number one motivational speakers. Right now, he's the number one motivational speaker that's around, and I'm so honored to have you here.
Thank you.
How do you keep yourself truly motivated when you're the enemies, persons that comes against you? They speak all these negativity against your belief and your views on things that you always share that about things about life in general. How do you cope? How do you keep yourself motivated to have great self-belief in what you're doing and not to step into the path of despair and fear and low self-esteem?
Phenomenal question, Dr. Michael. Great question. It's so important. Two things. One, anyone that's speaking negative to you, there's one of the greatest functions in your life you have is called delete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you delete, like delete contacts, yes.
Yes.
If someone calls you, you pick up the phone. Are they adding to your life or decreasing from your life? If someone's negative out of your life, get rid of them. And then number two, the most important part, I call it MMP, Morning Miracle Preparation. Every morning you wake up, read your goals. You should have a dream board. You should have a vision board. You should have your goals in front of you. A picture's worth how many words, Michael?
Oh my God, 1,000 words and more.
When you wake up in the morning, schedule 1 hour every morning. Every morning, learning, reading your goals, getting prepared for your greatest day. I call it Morning Miracle Preparation. Don't roll over, look at your smartphone, get aggravated, pick up the phone, and hope the day turns out. Even when I say that, the spirit of God just gets upset. Every day, get prepared, be scheduled, be focused, and wake up in faithful expectation.
I like that. Faithful expectation.
Faithful expectation. Every day, ask yourself, what are you expecting? Like today is day one. You know, I mean, it's so important for all of you to realize that when you wake up today, even as we're doing this interview, I'm saying to myself, someone listening, someone watching, this is going to transform their life. They're going to hear something to just nudge them to the next level. And every single morning you wake up, irregardless of what your schedule is, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as soon as you get busy, if you're busy and rushing, you're never going to succeed.
I like that. If you're busy and rushing, you're never going to succeed.
Because your mind's not clear to dream, to innovate, to inspire, to be. I'm a checklist. From a business perspective, I'm a checklist, scheduled, focused person. If people go, how do you write 20 books? One word at a time. You know. But I met you originally, Michael, in the gym.
Yes.
And if you notice, every day at the gym, you would see me with my books.
Yes.
I've read every single book in the gym. My mind's clear. I have my headset on, Bluetooth, whatever you guys wear. Take a pen, and my mind's got to be clear. There's so much potential for all of you. But every single morning. But it's very important. If you're around people, the biggest problem you have right now in life is relationships. You know, and it's very important. You have to remove relationships that are removing your beliefs for your next level.
So what you're saying literally is that when you get up in the morning, all of us need to be goal-oriented.
1,000%.
We need to also have a vision board, right?
Like this is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
There's no question. There's a good-looking guy behind me.
Thank you
Dr.
so
Michael
much.
Hunter, and a good-looking guy next to me.
And a very handsome guy next to me too.
And there was a good-looking guy touching on the microphone earlier too. A little inside joke here at the studio. But when you look at this, though, you got to be proud of who you are. Proud as faithful. Being a faithful. God birthed you a champion. Everywhere I go, I tell everybody, I know you're born a champion. This is the birth certificate. This is my 1965, 11:35 a.m. room 404. How many of you got a birth certificate here in the room, in the studio? All of you have birth certificates. All of you listening. God chose you to be a champion.
Yes.
One of my books is titled "Champions Are Born, Losers Are Made."
Oh, I love that.
Because losers are made by hanging around with losers. And I talk about Roger Bannister in this. You're a runner.
Yes.
Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. Within 2.5 years, 36 other people did. Why? Did they have new sneakers back then or running shoes? No. The mind believed the 4-minute mile was possible.
So you have to have great belief in yourself, in your potential, in your gifts. And you also have to have a goal in life, moving forward. But not only that, you have to believe, and I like this because, oh my word, I love this. This is.
And laminate your birth certificate.
And
laminate.
laminate.
Look, you see, look, you're calling me, look, all the negative people, if God birthed me, he also told me to get away from you. Like, enough is enough. You know, I mean, you have to get away from people, right?
Yes.
I mean, I see people, I'm still with that person. Why? Oh, maybe I'm going to change them. How many times? Don't stop praying about it. Get out.
Do something about it.
Do something about it.
Do something
What's
about
the
it.
first book of the Bible? Excuse me, in the New Testament? Acts. Do something.
Acts. Yes.
Right. Do so. It's so. And if that inspires somebody today, people look back. Well, what's going on? I'm just busy rushing around, hope it's in God's will for me. No, you're not doing nothing. You know, if you go to the gym and lay on the floor, you're not gonna have arms like you and I.
That's true.
You got to work it.
But you know, this is amazing because we met in the gym.
That's right.
You're always working out, and you have that. I didn't know that you at the time you were writing some of these books that we have right here on our studio.
I've written every single one of my books in the gym.
While working out, and one of the things that I take note of.
You get fired up, you get inspired. It's a natural drug. It's a natural endorphin. You know, it's very. You feel. How many of you finish working out and go, man, I just feel horrible. Like going to the gym, you're like, I don't want to go. But then when you're done, you're like, I just feel really good about myself.
Yeah.
You feel good. You feel empowered. You know, you ate like junk last night. So you got to burn some stuff off, but you feel good about yourself. But the enemy of distractions, and there's no such thing as 4-minute abs. By the way, it's an infomercial. You got to put your time in.
I notice when you go to the gym, the rower is one of the machines that most people avoid.
Yeah, because it works.
Most people avoid the rower, and I learned that from you. Every time I go to the gym, I start rowing.
Everyone who goes to the gym, you go to fitness centers, just walk by the rows. There's usually 2 or 3 of them. No one's on it.
That's true.
Because you go there for like a minute till your heart rate goes through the roof. You go, I don't want to deal with that. Let me walk on the treadmill, talk to my friend, and complain about stuff like this. Go to the gym, and for some reason the person gets heavier. You know, but that's another side note. We'll do a whole fitness class. But literally, you know, I clear my mind. My mind's clear, and I get ideas. I mean, God gives you ideas. So, you know, it's like you look at like the Ritz-Carlton, a 5-star resort, 5-star restaurant, or you pick your favorite restaurant. How many of you have a favorite restaurant? You just love your favorite restaurant? McDonald's, Burger King, favorite? No, I mean a 5-star restaurant. You go on like, man, it's an anniversary, it's a birthday. We're planning to go there, and as soon as you order that meal was been prepared for 12 hours. Preparation guarantees you as soon as you take that bite and the appetizer, it's so good. But it's 12 hours of preparation. You know, some of the greatest restaurants could be 12 to 18 hours. They're preparing for a meal. It's preparation. See, preparation. Roger Bannister. I talk about Roger Bannister all the time in my books. It's a 4-minute mile. Broke the 4-minute mile. He wasn't intimidated by those that said it couldn't be done. And Roger said one day, Sir Roger said, today's the day. And he broke that 4-minute mile. And then within a few years, close to 30 plus other people did, because they believed it was possible.
So your mindset has to be one of great belief. You have to have confidence in who you are and where you're going. But as I said before, you have to have a goal. Because you're a human being and you motivate so many people. You have been a great motivator to myself today. You have inspired me to do Pathway to Success.
Thank you.
I want to let you know that you're the inspiration.
Thank you.
Behind Pathway to Success.
I love it. Thank you.
But what I want to ask, because you're always pumped, you're always, just motivating me and others wherever we go. In the gym, out of the gym, you're always giving a motivating word. Have there been days when you feel like challenges have come your way, where you feel like, oh my God, you need to be motivated yourself?
I think about my grandfather in heaven. He's telling Jesus to get motivated, most likely. You think about the people that have come before you who fought their own emotions for this country, to be in America. For people who've died trying to come here legally, legal immigration. We won't go down that topic today.
Right.
But when you look at that process, it's the people that have come to this country. And in my story too, I had a brother who passed away. I talk about it in my book. And when he was 14, so he never got to live his why out. So when I look at people, and you have an opportunity of getting healthier physically, getting healthier emotionally, getting healthier financially, and you don't do it, don't give me excuses. So you live in America, you're healthy, you got 2 eyes and 2 ears, which are faith gates. So you build your faith, you set your goals. Anyone that has children, every day is day one. When I had that young man, we have a great video of him with my sword.
I'd love to see that.
Just a 3-year young man. I was teaching him how to flip the sword, right? Yeah. It was just fun. It's just great to see the inspiration of young men and young women. And it's for all of you. Every day you wake up, what's your why? What's driving you? Who's watching you? Commitment is proven when no one else is around. When no one else is looking, what are you doing? And there's no one else to impress But what are you doing for others? What's your why? What's driving you? What's the motivation? That's in all my book, my first book. All of you should write a dedication and read it every morning. Like, what are you dedicated to? Like, what's every action, every word, every association? What are you dedicated to? When people leave you, are you adding value to their lives? Are they going to remember you?
Tell me something. You have done motivational speaking in many different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think you told me about Greece. Was it Greece?
Malta. We've been in Malta.
Malta. That's one of the Greek islands, right?
Yeah.
How do you prepare when you go into, because you just had a motivational rally in Naples.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking where God's blessings, we're speaking everywhere. I say it very humbly, like it's a remarkable story, but I just know, just for someone to hear this, God will put you in 3 seasons for a reason. We have more speaking engagements, more interviews than ever in my career now.
That's
Why?
good.
People are tired of being tired.
Yeah.
They're also tired of weak Americans. They're tired of weak Christians.
Yeah.
They're tired of those that disrespect this country,
Yeah.
that disrespect this flag, disrespect the Constitution, disrespect America. And God's searching for the warriors. And I talk about Gideon. 32,000 men were called. It went 10,000 left immediately. It was left to 22,000. Then it went down to a few thousand. It was 300, and they never picked up a weapon. God had to trust them to step out in faith. And all of you have to realize right now, everyone listening, there's a lot of rah-rah motivation, but when you leave, are you grabbing a pen and taking notes from that speaker? Are you provoking their thoughts to think different and act different? And sometimes people don't like me because I challenge them. Because I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to pray. If you're on the same prayer line for 5 years, most likely God gave you the door to walk through, but you asked someone who's not walking through the door with you. So it is so important for all of you that, and no matter where we go. I remember one time we were over in Malta. It was gorgeous, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, and you could see the lights of Venice, literally through the window. But guess what? You know what their problems were? Fear, indecision, procrastination, low self-belief, bad relationships, and bad health. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in Green Acres, Florida, as it is in Malta, as it will be. I'll be in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I'll be over in Naples. I was just in Greenville, South Carolina last week.
How was that?
It's tremendous. I had an opportunity of speaking with General Michael Flynn.
General Michael
Flynn is just a tremendous champion. General Michael told me, he sat through my presentation and said, "John, your message is working. Keep it strong. Don't back down." And what really inspired him was what driving me is I look at my grandparents, and then I look at our nieces and your family. Fight for your family, and be an example.
Yeah,
it's so important. And guys, someone just tell them, just get away from negative people.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And people could say, John, summarize the secret of success. Remove negatives out of your life.
I like that. So what can prevent you from stepping into the next level or prevent you from achieving your goal is when you're around people who are negative, they have unbelief, they don't have the same mindset, they don't have a goal, they're not goal driven, they're not determined, they're not focused.
And they also say, well, that's been done before, from a pathway to success in business. Well, that's been done before. When someone wants to build a business and develop an idea, that's been done before. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to people that will empower you, encourage you, challenge you, or listening to people that go nowhere? It's interesting. I just looked here. I looked to the screen. I saw someone having just said these are wisdom keys. It's a great point.
I like that.
Keys, a small key. How many of you have ever used the wrong key? Like the key can go on the same doorknob, but it's got that little different key and will not open.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same key, the same knob, but keys are very small that open up huge vaults in life. And one of the greatest keys about morning preparation, leaving negative relationships, and then setting a goal. I mean, who would have thought just a few years ago that you'd pick up a phone and order food on it from a company that, I remember the first time I used Uber, like I'm actually going in a smartphone, having a guy pick up me and my wife, I don't know, getting in the back seat and giving him money. Like,
what?
I remember the first time you used Uber, like that's unique.
Yeah.
You look at a smartphone. I mean, even when we speak, I'm on stage and I speak about cell phones. The younger generation is like, what's a cell phone? Like, what does that mean? Because they don't understand cell towers. It's a smartphone.
Yeah.
So you look at the evolution from a business perspective. Someone's listening, you're going to be, because what I want to create is tithing billionaires.
Tithing billionaires.
In other words, I want billionaires to transform. We could solve the food hunger problem with, and that's why we're building, from the Conservative Business Journal perspective, a multi-billion-dollar online, offline media outlet to transform the world, to get the right news out, to get the right information out, to get the right message of success out. And remember, all journalism is, you know what journalism is you listen, like if someone watches our entire show, we're going 36 minutes now. So someone watches this show the whole time and summarizes, they take notes, they take their pen that flies. I have another one. And the author always has a backup pen.
That's good.
pen. And grab a pen that writes. It's in all my books. You always have to have a pen. And they watch this show, and then they take bullet points and journal it. That's news.
It's news.
How did it get so skewed?
Yeah.
Like if they watch this between you and I, and they write something we didn't say, that's fake news. It's not real news. And I talk about this in my first book, Get Away from the Negative News.
Get away
I had
from
someone
the
lie
negative
about
news.
me.
Yeah.
I had someone lie about my success in 1996. They came out to a hotel event. And at that point, I was doing very well. I was earning over $15,000 a month. And I was interviewed on a TV station. This is when it transformed my life. I overcame stunning and stammering through a 5-year process, built a very successful business. And they interviewed 5 of us. And then on Nightline, NBC Nightline, they did a completely wrong story. I'm like, they lied. But that was my own journey, Michael, of fake news.
Yeah.
Irregardless of what people hear about fake news, the point is when it happens to you, it's your story.
But that didn't stop you. That motivated you even more.
Yeah, because you get the truth out.
Yeah.
I was in direct selling back then, and they said it's a pyramid scam. Everyone's dying and losing. What are you dying and losing? What are you talking about? It was a lie. And it was just my own journey, my own life. So that's what, for us, we're building $1 billion company, online, offline media outlet to conserve and protect. Then we could take a break, but the word conserve means to, and I just wrote a new report. I'm going to give you one today, Michael. I wrote a report, 17 reasons why the Conservative Business Journal was founded and is now a nationwide movement that will secure the future of America. And I talk about the word conserve. The word conserve means to protect something from harm or destruction and to guard from corruption. That's conserve. Conserve our Judeo-Christian values, our family values, our faith. Protect that. Like when you leave your church, you lock it, you secure it, and you got some big security boys. They picked up that day with Jody. You showed up with those 6 boys and cleaned everything out that day, right? Those are some big boys. You don't have guys that look like this for security, right?
No.
Some big boys, right? Because you're keeping something of value.
Yeah.
So all of you listening, think big.
Think big.
And those of you that are tithers and givers, isn't it time? World hunger can be eradicated, and human sex trafficking can be eradicated like that, with the wealth of the wicked being transferred to the righteous, and your tithers and givers. That's my goal. That's my wife's. That's our corporate goal.
I like that. I remember when I was in the gym, you said to me, Michael, I looked at you were rowing for maybe about 45 minutes. And you said to me,
You were sweating, your hair was all messed up.
Yeah, my hair was all messed up. His hair was all messed up. And you said to me, this is like tithing. There are 2 persons that really want to do it in the gym. It's like tithing. And when you said it to me, I said, yeah, because I recognize only both of us that really goes there and really do the rowing for a long period of time.
You can go to the motion, you can go to church, you can go to God's like, I see you going to church, you're praying, but you're stealing from me, you're not tithing.
So faith without works is dead.
Yes, sir.
If you have to have a belief in a supernatural power, which is God, because you have a great belief in God.
Absolutely.
And you have seen the results. But with your faith, you have put in the work. You have kept yourself motivated by learning also. And you have kept around you people who are positive and have the same vision like what you have. That is immediately the recipe of a winner.
It's important.
And it's such a great inspirational story today. We're going to take a break. And we're going to come back with the distinguished John Delemy. And you've met so many distinguished men and women in your lifetime. And I want to share with us some of the persons that you have met that have really motivated you, and who you think that many persons should really try to study their lifestyle to be motivated also. We'll be right back on Pathway to Success. You're being motivated right now.
Are you ready to look and feel your best about your skin and body? Visit us at Belle Brûlée. We are here at the Mission Lakes Plaza, located near the Sal's Pizza and the Deli. Visit us to begin to feel amazing about yourself. We offer wrinkle reduction treatment, Botox, derma fillers, radio frequency, laser hair removal, and so much more. What's unique about Belle Brûlée is that we have a multidisciplinary approach to your care. We offer a team of multidisciplinary specialists who are here to take care of your skincare needs. It's 2021. Come on, join us. Make an appointment now to begin living your best life.
Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and I have the distinguished John DeLemme right here on set with us this evening. A great motivational speaker, writer of 20 books, one who is the Christian Journal. You're the author of the Christian Business Journal. Right? Conservative Business Journal. And I really wanted to ask you a very important question. What did you do to push yourself through worse times while climbing the ladder to success?
There's always somebody that is way worse off than you. And I talk about, my brother passed away at a very young age of a disease. I don't even say it, death and life and the power of the tongue, cancer, passed away of that. So think about any kid now under the age of 5 that's dying of the C word. Think about his life versus yours. So stop the excuses. Get tough up in life.
I like that.
Just stop the excuses.
I like that.
I mean, just think about like my grandparents, two weeks on a boat from Italy with $25 in their pocket, can't speak the English language, coming to America. So what excuses do we have?
That's courageous.
Oh, I got slow internet, I'm having a bad day. My smartphone app's not working. Wake up, people. It's all relative. I mean, it's all relative. So your goals driving you for you and your family, it's got to push you. But those are the days when you're working out and you have a breakthrough. When when you push yourself, that's how you. I always teach inside the word challenge is the word change. If someone doesn't challenge you, you won't change. Why people may not like me is because I'll challenge them to be better, to do more, to bless more. So when people go, I'm retired, you're selfish. Because you retire, you're selfish. I'm financially free and I'm debt free. Great. What are you doing for others? That really aggravates me. Mm-hmm. Because if God blessed you to be like that in your life, do more for others. Give 90%.
I like that.
Stop that. I mean, that really infuriates me. Well, I'm doing great for myself. Well, you were one prideful, egotistical, non-God serving person. Right?
Yes.
Really blame. Someone needs to hear that, because I believe we're in the greatest epic time in world history. Because God's looking for the Gideons.
Yes, He is.
And I believe we're at that David and Goliath. You know better than anyone, obviously, as a pastor, when Goliath for 40 days was in the valley, just taunting him in the middle like this. And then I believe we're like day 30 right now in this country and just the world. And day 40, what did David just say? He said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm done. Bam! Here's what I'm going to do to you. And that's what all of you listen. You get to a point in life, you have to get the enough is enough line. Get rid of those people, set your goals. And the biggest distracting is the stuff in the phones. People are all over the place.
Yeah.
They're on the phones night and day. I ask them, when do you read a book? What do you do every morning? Well, what are you doing? Oh, I have no time to go to the gym. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I have no time to eat healthy. You're eating, obviously. What are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, stop making excuses. I mean, just get rid of the excuses. Get tough on yourself. Get around people who will challenge you, who will get tough on you, who will expect things out of your life. I'm so tired of weak people. I know the pastor says we're happy to be on an altar here, and your set's awesome. But God's looking for warriors, people that will step up, stand up for their family, stand up for traditional family-friendly values in America. It used to be years ago that people would proudly wear this flag tie. People go, I can't believe you wear that. I can't believe you look what you look like.
It's a beautiful tie.
I mean, it's a beautiful tie. It's true, but stand for your values.
Stand for your values that you believe in.
Yeah.
What would you say to those persons, and there are other persons who want to be an overnight success?
It can happen.
And sometimes they give it one shot, they fail, and they stop. What do you have to say to persons like those?
There's no such thing as overnight success.
I like that.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. I mean, it doesn't exist. You have to go through challenges. You have to make mistakes. You have to get around people that will tell you that that wasn't working. We've been through a lot in our business where you're going down one path of success. You're working so hard, but that wasn't your journey. I know right now with our own life, God wants us teaching conservative Christian values in business. We want small businesses, all during the whole pandemic, what was open, all the big box stores, they all make tons of money. COVID didn't exist in Walmart. I know it did. At 10 o'clock it ended at Walmart, but 115,000 small restaurants closed in America. I know we won't go down this path too much, but communism, socialism works in three areas: control the vote, control the media, control the food. Because you control it. Look at the food prices in America. Because they had a method to this. But God is going to move. Shut the restaurants down, shut the food supply down, drive the food prices up, give government money to control people. Because you get government money, you can't think, how many people tithe on stimulus checks? They can't tithe on that.
Yeah.
It is so important.
I like that. Tell me, what techniques you do to keep yourself motivated?
Look at you.
That's what I do. Look at him and read his books. And read his books.
I know Dr. Michael on a personal. I know we go back years now.
Yes.
Michael, we've never heard one negative word out of Dr. Michael's mouth ever. You've never seen him not smile, right?
I'm always smiling.
Every time we see him in the gym, we're fired up. Yeah, man. And I love yelling, yeah, man, at the Jamaican brother. People freak out. Right?
Yeah,
all the
that's
time,
true.
right?
That's true. Always laughing, always working.
All the time. You got to be around people that inspire you.
Yeah.
I just get away from the negative Nellies.
Inspiration is key. Now, I'm so impressed with you because I'm sure you've been lied upon. Persons that create stories that is not true.
Just Google me.
False. I've never Googled you because I know you personally, and I don't need to Google you because I know who you are.
Google don't like a lot of conservatives.
Okay, I recognize that.
Google's from what's in the Bible, what's it, Gagalan, who did God? It's from the city of Baal, like that. Google it. Right?
But what the greatest, how you, because there are a lot of persons who don't have the strength that you and I have.
You got to build it.
There are a lot of persons who sit, and if a person make a negative comment, they believe it. There are persons who are great at creating stories which is not true. And I'll say that to someone today, that majority of those who are very successful, like the distinguished John DeLemme, President Donald Trump, many others who we know, that they've been through a lot of fabricated stories, but they're still winning and they're standing strong.
I gotta tell you a good story. This just happened 2 nights ago, right? Christy, my wife's there. We went to eat at a restaurant. I gotta get my friend that owns Plant-Based Mafia. Danny would be a great interview.
Oh, that would be. Oh my God, that would be great. I'm Italian too.
And no, he would love Danny. He's a hard worker. I've really seen him grow in his success. His restaurant. I met him at Publix one night. He was buying 50 bottles of tomato sauce. I'm like, dude, really? What are you doing? I'm full-blooded Italian. I've seen him grow from just fairs and outdoor fairs to a beautiful restaurant now in Thomas Gardens. And I was in a restaurant the other night. It was Friday night. We were there, and when a woman says, "I like your tie," she says, "Why do you wear it?" I said, "I'm very proud of the country. I love the tie." And I said, "I love the flag." I said, "Matter of fact, Monday the 14th is Flag Day, and a lot of people on Memorial Day we remember the people that died for this country, for our freedom." And she goes, "That's good." She goes, "I wasn't sure why you were wearing it." And then you mentioned Donald Trump. Long story short, she worked at Mar-a-Lago.
Really?
She was actually served Melania and Trump for years, and she goes, she gets infuriated when she hears all the fake news. She goes, "I know him as a person. I saw him with Melania, his son Barron, his daughter Ivanka, and everyone." She goes, "You just seeing real people." And I always ask people, get to know people behind the scenes about real people. The news right now is so skewed.
Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about, why do you think the Bible is called the good news? Let that sink in. Jesus knew that the news would skew people's mindsets. Like, I have a lot of people that may see me. This is more of an obviously interview process. People watch the whole thing or segments, but you may hear me on an interview or I do a podcast every day. My Conservative Vision, a Real News podcast show, and people may hear me.
What time?
We go live most of the time at 9:30 Eastern time, but then I'm on every podcast platform out there. If you're on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Google Play Store, everywhere you can get podcasts, we're on there.
But you're on Fox.
Been on Fox here.
You tell me some of the places you've been and some of the most powerful, the people who have inspired you the most in your walk of life as a motivational speaker, as a businessman, meeting people, because you're well known and respected.
I tell you what inspires me is I always say that everyone's a big name speaker. What inspires me is people that will come out to an event like this and learn and listen. They're an inspiration to me. And I always say there's no such thing as a big. Obviously, I've been around some very well known people. General Michael Flynn, President Donald Trump, and I say that name to see what people drop on and drop off the message, which is great. but it's amazing. I mean, you mentioned Jesus Christ. In the name of Jesus, what happens?
I mean, a lot of people.
I mean, a lot of people don't want to hear that.
No.
I mean, they don't get me started on, but they take in the name of Jesus out of a prayer. That's like taking rice out of a sushi roll. It doesn't exist. You can't take in the name of Jesus out of a prayer, but I won't go down that path. So when to me, I've met so many, influential people over my time. I've been on Fox, I've been on other channels, I've been on your show, and it's meeting everyone. It's actually meeting the producers and directors behind the scenes, because your daughter's everything. Without her, you're nothing.
Yeah,
she's a producer, right?
That's true. She's a producer.
The producers are everything, right?
Yes.
Because inside what produces produce. You eat produce, you eat fresh food all the time, you're doing good. Produce,
Yes, she
right?
does.
And so I mean, everyone, what really inspired me is my parents and my grandparents, my family from Tennessee. They're hardworking people. That's country people. That's hardworking Americans. What inspires me is, I've done a lot of. My wife did all this research on my grandparents. This is only recent. For any of you got any immigrants that came through America legally through Ellis Island? Ellis Island has done an incredible. The Ellis Island? You guys got to go on. I promote DuckDuckGo. Go on DuckDuckGo and put Ellis Island in, and you just put your last name and it comes up. It's unreal. That inspires me. I look at it every day.
Yeah.
Hey, my grandmother came at 9 years. I was very close. This is Nana. I was very close to her.
To Nana.
Very close to her.
Carolina.
I did not know they only had $25, Michael. I did not know until right, Christy? Until like 6 months ago. Even my dad didn't know. His mom didn't know. That inspires me.
That's inspiring.
I've been around General Michael Flynn, Lynn Wood. I mean, some very influential people in the conservative world and then in the business world. Over my career, I've spoken with many speakers.
Have you ever been nervous because you have such great.
No, as a speaker, you shouldn't be nervous.
You shouldn't be nervous.
If you're a speaker, like oh my God, I gotta go preach the word today. I'm nervous. No, if you're a true pastor, anointed by God, and the Holy Ghost has filled your belly, you're ready to fire up. That's your calling. Not everyone's called to be. Oh, God's prayed. And we've had many people come to me. God's prayed I should start a church. No, you're just jealous of Michael. No, God didn't tell you that. You're just jealous of Michael.
But suppose I tell you something. I have met prominent attorneys who, before a case, they're anxious. They get very nervous. But this is what they've been doing for years. Mm-hmm. And when they call me, I motivate them that you'll win.
That's a
you'll
good
have
question.
success.
Yeah.
How do you motivate? What advice would you tell the viewers, aspiring business owners, lawyers, doctors, and artists, of those who desire to be extremely successful, who lack? Now let's listen to this. Who lack the strong support? Lack strong support.
Get around you. If they're friends of yours, associate with you.
Yeah.
Get around people and remove the weak support structures. Reinforce the support structure, and then have your end goal in mind. What's your goal? As an attorney, what's the goal? And if you're trying a case, you had an opportunity of spending some time with Lynn Wood. Now, Lynn Wood's a very controversial name. You mentioned Lynn Wood. Well, Lynn Wood's claim to fame was when he defended Richard Jewell. Yeah. When they said that he did the bombing, and he was the one that did the bombing in in Atlanta at the Olympics, and it wasn't. He actually defended him for close to 20 years, right, Christy? 16 years. Even after Richard died, right? Even after Richard died, Lynn was so passionate he knew Richard did not commit that crime. So we had an opportunity of spending 8 hours with Lynn one-on-one last week. I gained a lot of respect. You see Lynn Wood on TV, you think Lynn is, right, Christy? And his assistant, his team, like his Jody, quote unquote, not his daughter, but his team, tremendous ladies and just hearts of amazing people. I mean, and it's very important that, for 16 years, he defended someone that he knew was innocent. In the legal realm, and you stay consistent, you have to know for a business, you have to know your end. And, I talk about making money versus earning money.
Yeah.
You know, when an apple orchard, when someone plants a seed as an apple farmer, they plants the apple seed, it goes through seasons of winter and summer and snow and everything, and then that tree grows and there's an opportunity to then selling apples, picking the apples, apple picking, getting an apple making, taking the apples and selling off an apple orchard. He went through a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
It's this, you know, same thing in business. You have a right to earn income after you pay the price. If someone goes, I'm going to do this to make money, they're going to fail.
Yeah.
You know, you do it to make a difference, because capitalism, everyone wins with capitalism.
Yeah.
It's like when they have this. What's Marone's wife's name at the salon? What's the first name?
Monroe's.
That has the salon. What's your wife's name? Violet. So Violet, after they put the salon together, they open it up, they have the rent to pay, they put the machines in, they hired a team, and if someone comes in and they perform the service at the salon, after all that's done, then she earns income. After all that, she had a right to earn income because she performed the services. So earning income, you know, like when someone today may say, hey John, I want to bless you, I want to purchase 1 million books. I've been teaching for 20 years. I didn't write a book for 10 years
You
ago.
have 1 million books?
No, I want someone today, God's gonna bless someone, say, if someone says, let's say someone today says, John, I want to purchase 1 million books. And I speak that big.
Yeah.
Because God wants you to speak big.
Yeah.
Stop speaking small. But everyone that's a doctor, lawyer, business, make sure you have make sure your heart's right and your end results in mind. Like you know what you want to achieve. You know, my greatest conversations is when I speak at events and, you know, people, you know, like my wife always says, stay away from the table after I'm done speaking, because they will come and bless us and purchase books, and I autograph books and all the stories. And I can, even last week I had a woman take me to the side. She goes, can you come up to the side? I said, yes ma'am. She goes, I wasn't going to come to the event. God woke me up and said, you have to go there. You have to go in there. And then you come on. I was on at 9 a.m. I was the second speaker in the morning last Saturday. She goes, you stand up with a sword. I just felt God said, this is for you.
Yes.
And she was in a bad, abusive relationship, physically, emotionally, sexually, alcohol, drugs, everything, for years. And she was praying. And she had a ticket to the event. I spoke the second day. She didn't come out the first day. She came out the second day, and she said, God said, get up this morning, you've been praying, I'm going to give you a message. Yeah. And she said, if you look, 80% of what I say is mostly the same.
Yeah.
If I'm interviewed on Fox News about the situation with politics, you know, I'm a conservative political. I will comment politically with conservative values.
Right.
You know, I believe in faith, I believe in family, I believe in traditional marriage, I believe in tithing, I believe in giving, I believe in capitalism. I don't veer from that.
Right.
You can have different opinions, that's fine, but that's what I believe in. And
right.
I will comment on that from there. So no matter what I speak at, 80% of what, if I'm an interview on your show, 80% of what I teach is the same. I always go to get rid of relationships that are negative. So she heard that. She was with a guy for 11 years that she was praying for him, but he wasn't changing. Mm-hmm. And those are the stories that inspire me. My wife can tell you all the ones, right, Christy? Come up to you at the table, oh my God, you changed my life. They're hugging me, kissing me. I usually have my makeup shoulder.
You're right.
When all the women hug me and kiss me over here, the makeup, right, Christy? Which is fine. But that what inspires me is real people that put themselves in a situation, environment to change. You know, the atmosphere of expectation is the breeding ground for miracles. You got to put yourself in an atmosphere of expectation.
Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Multi-billionaire change in this country for getting conservative Christian values out and changing people's lives, getting them back to reading and learning. And America's a phenomenal country.
I like that.
America's a phenomenal country.
Yes, it is.
You know, I mean, there's stuff going on with law and order. I mean, I'm a New Yorker. We'll go political for 15 seconds.
Yeah, why not? I want to hear what.
De Blasio destroyed New York City. De Blasio has destroyed the greatest. They tried to destroy it in 2001, okay, with the towers. We came back strong. Mm-hmm. They tried to destroy it now. New York City is destroyed. He's destroyed the greatest city in the country. Because that's socialism, to control, and to see Americans lose hope, to see people fight and scream and yell, and to see stuff going on. We have people that identify as a woman walking into a man walking into a little girl's restroom. I'm famous for saying this, Michael. Yeah. I have 3 gorgeous nieces. They're beautiful girls, and one of them is a top athlete in gymnastics. And I always say, if a guy who puts a wig on one day, identifies as a woman and walks in a bathroom with my 90-year-old niece, he ain't coming out alive.
No.
I'll be very direct. I mean, that's one thing I say in every air I'm on. And we had a very successful doctor last week in South Carolina calling, he purchased tickets to my event. He says, what I remember about your husband is he stood for something.
Yeah.
And look, you could have your deal, your opinion, but you can't change the values of that.
Right.
And I've seen people just the law and order of this country. I was born and raised to respect the police.
Yeah.
I was born and raised to respect America. And I've never seen color. You know that, Mike.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I've never seen that. I don't see that. My I was born and raised in when my grandfather says, look, we don't see color. We see idiots.
If you see color, you wouldn't be on this show.
No.
But I'm white anyway.
No. I'm Jamaican.
And the boat that I came over was not as big as this boat, but it was a great sailing boat.
Yeah.
I got here safe and sound.
Yeah.
I came here with $100.
That's right.
My pocket.
That's awesome. I get so inspired by that because that's what drives me.
Yeah.
What drives me is people. It's playing with that young boy, 3-year-old boy. People, God births champions.
Yeah.
We have to fight that good fight of faith and get that word out and stop debating stuff. And I can tell you, even every time I mention a thing about the bathroom, you see the response everywhere because you stand for something.
Yeah.
That's your deal. If you identify you've got a little problem there, or pray cast a demon out of you, it's a demon. Let's cast it out of you.
Right.
Let's just be realistic. It's a demon. It's a demon, and demons don't like water, right? Where did all the demons go in the Bible? You know the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to get back on path with success. I was good though. We're going an hour. I went 58 minutes. It was only 2 minutes. But I'll tell you, even my first book, I've always had conservative values. Respect the family, respect church, respect your neighborhood, respect things. Always leave things better. And then you always bless people.
Yes.
That's America.
That's America. I like this. To conserve means to protect something from harm or destruction and to guard from corruption.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah. And corruption means at one time it was great. It's like when you look at back in September 11, 2001, when the announcer said it looks as if the integrity of Tower 2 has been compromised. And when the integrity is compromised, it falls.
Yes.
So when integrity falls, it's compromised.
That's true.
And when you look at this, and people's always asking, why'd you start the journal? And I always go through this 17 reasons. The United States Constitution is the law of the land, First Amendment, the freedom of speech.
Right to bear arms.
Look at his arm back there, right?
Yeah, his arm right back there.
Yeah, right to bear
our
arms.
producer,
He's got some arms.
Our producer, Daniel, and his beard arm right back there.
That's right.
Those guns that he got in the gym.
God gives you guns. That's because there's two genders, man and women. I just had to drop that one in. There's only two. There'll only be two genders, right?
Yes, only two. I like this though because you also have this here, which is great. Right, support and respect law enforcement. I like that.
Yeah.
Back the blue. I like pro-life. Give a voice to the unborn that have a right to live.
Let me tell you a story about law enforcement.
Yeah, go.
When I was younger, when I was 16, my dad's probably listening. I had a problem sometimes of speeding. And I remember one time I got 4 speeding tickets. It wasn't a cop's fault that I got pulled over. I was speeding.
Yes.
And the 5th time I got pulled over, and he happened to know someone in the neighborhood, and he said, look, this is your 5th ticket. Your insurance, my insurance, he gave me the ticket. He says, you deserve to get this because if you don't slow down, you're going to kill yourself. I wasn't going like 100 miles an hour. I was going like 60 now. And if you ask my wife now, I go 9 miles over the speed limit. Right, Christy?
So slow.
She says you're a slow old man driving.
That's what they say about me when I drive.
So if it's like 55, I'm at 64 on cruise control. Why? Because when I was younger, I got a lot of speed. My insurance was more than my car was just about. So I learned a lesson when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because to enforce the law, because if everyone goes 9 miles per hour over the speed limit, you're going to be safe. Mm-hmm. So law and order is important.
Very important. And there's also something you have here because as a great motivational speaker and one that believes in Christian values, you have here, stand with Israel. Protect the nation from foreign enemies. I really like that. Support capitalism and free enterprise. Stand against communism and socialism.
Yeah, and it's It's brutal. I mean, what they did in America to shut down small businesses, and we live in Florida. Thank God for Governor Ron DeSantis. I mean,
that every day.
you look at Oregon, you look at Washington, you look at Illinois, you look at Michigan. I mean, you look at New York, you look at New Jersey, Connecticut, Vermont. They've killed small businesses. I mean, how many of you know? We talked about this before we went on air. The food prices through the roof. Okay, look at the food prices, because they had a motive there. They said if we shut restaurants down, actually I made a mistake earlier. It's 115,000 restaurants.
115,000.
Were shut down and let over and the virus. Where did the virus come from? China. They
Yeah.
come from Jamaica.
No.
You know, if you get a Jamaican beef patty,
Did it come from Italy?
Where's
No.
the Jamaican beef patty from?
It's right. Jamaica.
Jamaican beef patty.
Jamaica, yeah, Jamaica, yeah.
Right? That's where things come from. That's where it derived from.
Uh-huh.
The derivative of it. So they said, let's shut all the restaurants down. The committee of they want to kill everybody.
The committee of they.
So all of a sudden, if the meat supply is shut down, I mean, chicken is almost double to triple in price. Look at the price of lumber. Look at real estate. I mean, it's awesome in Florida for real estate's through the roof. But with socialism is they want to shut down free thinking and free enterprise. You want large dreams, small government. Free enterprise. You want government wants to provide safety, law and order, and a constitution. That's what they want. Like Florida's wide open.
Yeah.
Look at Florida. I mean, imagine if this is a church. There are some churches in the country still can't open.
Yeah.
You can't have 20 people in a room. You can in Costco and Walmart. It just disappears there.
So what's the difference? You can't have 20 persons in Costco and Walmart, but you cannot have it within another gathering.
And socialism, communism, they want to keep you alone, quarantine you, keep you afraid, keep you by yourself, keep you scared, keep you in fear, keep you watching the wrong news, and all of a sudden your mind thinks different, and it brainwashes you. Because one of my quotes in my book is, socialism manipulates your mind.
Yes.
It manipulates. In the Bible, it's witchcraft.
Yes.
They craft words and keep saying, a lie repeated over and over and over and over, it doesn't make it true.
No.
It's originally a lie.
Yes, originally a lie.
It's just that they keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it.
Mm-hmm.
They keep saying it, and then people start to believe it. They go, well, I heard. Where'd you hear it from?
Yeah. Do you have any evidence of?
Yeah.
I think I said something about that today. You heard something. Where do you hear it from? Do you have evidence of it? And then one person hear a thing and they start running with it all over the place.
It's interesting. You talk about New York City. I believe John will probably watch this. A great friend of mine, John Moore. We have to, Christy. We'll connect Michael with John Moore. John Moore runs 125th Street Pizza in Harlem, New York, and he's an Irish guy. He makes the best garlic knots in New York City. He called in about a year and a half ago to be in my podcast through one of his friends who was running for something. I got to know him, and he's just loves the country, loves his 2 boys in the Marines, loves America. He's lived in the heart of de Blasio, 125th Street, West Harlem. He actually went and took pictures of where my grandparents lived. It's 8 blocks away. We became really good friends, John and I. Great relationship. Well, he noticed that kids don't read in New York.
Yeah.
They don't read. I'm interviewing him, and he told me about this literacy program, and I give all the glory to God in this. I heard him. I said, well, I want to donate to this. This is to summarize the story. He would literally, what he did is he would bribe kids, like, look, read this book, bring me back a book report, and I'll give you a free pizza pie.
I like that.
So now we have in New York City the Conservative Business Journal literacy program.
It's good.
And Christy, right when we had that young boy, we had a 6-year-old boy, and he took the video because it was the first book he ever read, and his dad was there and all fired up, and this is in Harlem, New York, and kids are reading for the first time. We had someone send it. Lorene is going to probably watch the replay. She's not on live. She sent in a few $100s worth of crayons and coloring books. Has a whole library in a pizzeria. Literally telling kids, look, if you read that book, you get a free pizza pie.
I like that.
Because kids are not reading in New York City. They're not reading. What happens when you go back to Nazi Germany, talk about Israel. The first thing they did in Nazi Germany was burn the books. You keep people from reading. You keep them from learning.
Yeah, keep them from learning.
Burn the books. Control the vote. Control the vote. Burn the books. Control the media. Control the mind. Socialism, communism. See, this is not a game. And you go to education process. Who ever thought just a few years ago, pathways to success, you'd have kids 5-6 years of age learning about masturbation and pornography in books.
Yeah, it's.
That's one thing that went on with COVID is people start to actually see what kids are learning in school.
Yes.
And that's why we have to stand for that.
Yeah, I like that because you said education for children free from radical left indoctrination such as the 1619 Project. Wow, that's powerful.
They're not learning history. When you remove history, you change the future in their mind. And I tell people, when you look at that, like, imagine you and I going to school and not learning about the Constitution, not learning about America. What are you learning about?
What are you learning about? The country should know what the country is about.
That's control. It's brainwashing. I mean, it gets real deep. But I behaved myself though in the show.
You did a great job. We've heard it from the best, the distinguished John Delemy. So I'd love to invite you back on the show. I love to be back all the time. I travel all the way from West Palm Beach, Florida. What a great time. I'm sure many of us have been motivated. But how long did it take for you to gain success? Really, in your view, that you start thinking of yourself that, well, I've really achieved most of the goals that I've wanted to achieve.
Let me tell you what success to me is: waking up every day with expectation. Because people hear success, they think money. Money's not success.
That's what some
There's a lot of
think.
morons in Florida who think have money, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we live in, you see some women in plastic surgery, and men, they look like they got their face redone, their lips are done, they haven't moved in 10 years, and they're unhappy people. Plastic surgery doesn't change your heart.
Right.
You see that in the gym, right?
Yes. Oh, yes, I see that in the gym.
And they're still nasty people, right?
Yeah.
Right? They're still nasty. Even with their face, they're nasty, man or female, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so success is waking up with goals. Success is waking up with expectations. Success is waking up, being able to bless people. Success is being able to make a difference in people's lives. So, and people think success. To me, my most successful day was that first evening it was March 15th, 1990. I went home. Actually, March 16th, I went and purchased the book Think and Grow Rich. I read the book the whole night. Mm-hmm. I actually felt for the first time in my life an ounce of confidence. Yeah. Remember, when you were stuttering a stammer, I had braces in for 7. So I have space in my teeth. Yeah. I had braces for 7 years. I went to New York School for the deaf. I mean, I was so fearful. I was living in fear because God knew. God knew, and the devil knew, the demons knew. If this kid talked, it's over.
Yeah.
We're over.
Yeah.
Because sword, one of the final points, you look at the word sword,
mm-hmm.
and if you take the letter S, mm-hmm. put it on the end, it's words.
Yes. Yes.
And if you also notice too, when Michael and I were speaking, we didn't hear one We've been going an hour and 12 minutes. That's even when we go off air during the breaks. We're not umming.
We're not umming. No.
Be very careful of ummers.
I like that.
Because they're trying to think what they're going to say because they have no heart. Mm-hmm. Be careful of the people that laugh with a fake laugh, that Jezebel spirit, they're laughing. It's a demon. And someone just needs to hear this today.
Yes.
It's when you've been going an hour and 13 minutes. It wasn't one
Not one
because God wants to get this wisdom out.
Yes.
So success is having direction.
Yes.
Pathways to success is having direction. It's like, you know what? I wake up today with a goal, with a dream. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be a better example for my family, for my kids. And financial overflow, if you're not tithing now, I'll tithe when I'm blessed. If you're saying out, watching this, you have a smartphone. So you're blessed. You're blessed. So people go, Delemy's just saying that because he's just this Christian guy, he's a conservative. He jumped on the conservative train. Okay, you idiots. I wrote a book 15 years ago called Champions of Born Losing Made about being pro-life. No, but I love how, because God puts it in people's faces. When Jesus flipped the tables over and said, get out of here, all you sorcerers. Because who knew that I could talk 15 years ago, I talk about pro-life. Oh, it's because he's just trying to be a Christian conservative now. No, dope. Read my book from 2005. Yeah, I wrote a book about it. It says when a sperm and egg comes together, God created you.
Yes.
God created you, right here. Wait a minute. I'm not a loser. I started this journey as an incredible champion. Maybe God knew what he was doing after all. Just because you can't see your future, just because you can't see your dreams fulfilled right now, and just because you can't see the artifacts of success like a fine home, beautiful family, a high quality car, doesn't mean you're a loser. Your championship is as real as gravity. And I talk about this in the book. You see, this is my book. This is my own book. Look, if an author has a book and his book ain't start up, he ain't a real author. It's a small learning book. That's why I'm glad, Michael. I grabbed this from my house. I see this book is not. So you can. This one is new. I'll give this one to you today because I'm
Thank you.
Actually, I have to give you another one because this is an older version. But we'll talk about that off air. But for all of you, success is waking up with excitement.
Success is waking up with excitement.
Don't do anything. I'm going to do this to make a lot of money. That's what Bernie Madoff did. That's what a lot of. Let me just jump right in here. That's what a lot of politicians do.
Yeah.
Well, let me get into politics. I can make money. I never get out. I get in, but I won't go down that path too much. But success is waking up with
You never go into politics?
No, I mean, until I'm in my early 70s to be running for president.
Oh my God! What an informative, hilarious interview. We've been so empowered by the distinguished, the best.
But I appreciate all of you. Make sure you watch all of Michael's shows. Those of you here locally, come out to his church here and be around him. Champions.
Thank you so much.
True champions.
You have heard it from the champion of champions.
Thank you.
The distinguished John Delemy on Pathway to Success. I hope that you are inspired in every area. You touch on every area. You touch on education. You touch on faith value. You touch on our nation. You touch on every area. How to motivate oneself, how to keep themselves around positive people, how to get up, rejoice, and recognize that you're alive and well,
that's right,
and you can achieve the goals that you want to achieve if you're focused and you're serious about being goal-oriented, moving towards that. You have touched every area, even tithing.
That's the key.
Which, oh my God, some people don't want to hear that.
Can I say that as
yes.
Michael's a pastor, I'm not a pastor. If you don't tithe, what are you doing?
Yes.
Like, why are you not tithing?
Stealing.
Why just tithe? Just so many hear this. If you ask me, Michael, also happens every time I'm at my event, I always talk about it. People always come up, I've been praying about tithing. What does that mean? What are you praying about tithing? There's no prayer about tithing, just tithe.
Yeah, let's get it.
Well, I can't afford a tithe. Well, you can't afford not to tithe. But I just because I know many of your listeners of Judeo-Christian values, it's so important. Just be a blessing to others.
And I like this in closing, really. The Conservative Business Journal was developed to empower, educate conservatives to fight back peacefully. Mm-hmm. I like that. With your time, I like that, to fight back peacefully.
Well, you identified me in the debate before the election. Did I get heated that night in the debate?
No.
I was calm.
You were so calm, relaxed, so informative, and everything that you gave was so on point.
And he got all mad at me.
Yes, he did.
I didn't do anything wrong. I was just talking.
That's why I'm reading this and saying I like this.
Remember that? You could take your list then.
Yes.
My list. But I want you guys to realize that. Anyone that, people try to intimidate you. You know, when I was with Linwood last week, how big was Linwood security, right? I took the only one to take a guy must have been, Chad, what's his name? Chad, right? Mitch, was he like 6'9", like 485 pounds in one arm? He's huge.
Wow.
He's probably 6, but just huge. I was the first guy to take a selfie with him. I jumped up on a table and took a selfie with him. But he's just a big boy.
Yeah.
Sometimes in life, people, not him, but people get intimidated by the size of someone.
Yeah.
And peacefully, you fight back with your words.
Fight back with your words.
Fight back with your words. And anyone that's an uneducated person that's done to intimidate you will try to scream and yell at you. Just diffuse the situation with knowledge.
Yes.
So we've never had a physical confrontation.
Yes.
They scream and yell at me. I'm like, what are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling at you.
No. Because you have knowledge, and knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And you have success, and you know the word also of God that's in your life. I like this. Fight back peacefully. I'm going to finish this with your time. And I like this also, your talent. This is so powerful. Fight back peacefully with your time, talent, resources. So many of us are so gifted, and we've not used the gift that we have. But we look at other person's gift. Resources, and most importantly, relationships.
So important.
So important. Why is relationships so important in closing?
It's interesting too, is you talk about talent. As anyone listening to this as a Christian, as a pastor, you preach many messages in your career as a pastor about the talent. Jesus went crazy. Yeah. Why'd you bury my dad? How aggravated did Jesus get? Why'd you bury my dad's talent? He gave you a talent. He wants you to prosper. And when you look at relationships, I teach a lot about words. Obviously, as a stammerer, a stutterer, and an author, words come from 3 derivatives: Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. That's where words are derived from.
Yeah.
You get orange juice from an orange. You don't get orange juice from a pear.
No.
So it's derived from. So words are derived from Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. And we look at the word restaurant. This is gonna be a serious wisdom bomb from the throne room. Because you asked a great question, Michael. The word restaurant means to restore relationships. That's the root of it. So 115,000 restaurants are closed. Sure, you can order from Uber Eats, from Domino's, and sit in your house. but you like to sit down in a restaurant, break bread, fellowship. Look at the
yeah.
root of communism. They shut those restaurants down. The old school face-to-face relationships, hugging on people, breaking some bread, having some food, enjoying, eating food, relationships. What do you relate to? And it's so important. Your relationships in life are everything. Your relationships predict your future.
That's true.
I look at the relationships. I tell people, just look at your smartphone. The last 5 people you call, that's going to be your time, talent, resources. If you don't like what you're doing in life, delete it. Take a look at the circle of 5. The last 5 people you call. You happen to be one of mine today, Michael.
Thank you so much.
I have Michael.
I'm so honored.
I have Michael, Jody, and my wife, so I'm doing pretty good. But it's true. I can tell you, when I throw it back to what concluded, I was talking to someone last week, and he was going, "That's a problem." He said, "Give me a smartphone." I said, "Who did you talk to today?" That's your future.
I said,
"Tell me about that." And he looks at one person and goes,
I hope people are listening to
He
this.
goes like this. He goes like this. "Oh, I don't want to talk about them." I said, "But you're talking to them." Literally, that was literally outside when I see my resource table, all my books, it's my books and all that stuff. And I said, "Look, if you don't want to tell me about them, but you're talking to them, then you got to get them out of your life." God can't bring a blessing into your life around bad people.
No, and especially against people who all they speak is negativity against others. They don't come with any constructive ideas for you to build on your life or to make yourself more progressive. But I've always said delete. If anyone is calling me to discuss negativity about an individual, delete.
That's right.
It doesn't make sense. That will never build my life. I'll never be a successful person from entering in that type of garbage in, garbage out. Anyway, we're going to end this wonderful segment of Pathway to Success, an inspirational show, and I'm sure you've been inspired by the distinguished John DeLemy with us this evening. How can people follow you, get on your podcast? And how can people find you? You'll be speaking in Naples
at the end of August.
At the end of August. But where's your next speaking engagement so that we can all come out, for those who want to come out and hear you speak?
The best way to follow me for my podcast, you guys can go to cbjrealnews.com. CBJ for Conservative Business Journal, cbjrealnews.com. God gave me that URL one morning, cbjrealnews.com. You'll see all my podcasts on there, and then there's also on the menu bar, it says Get the App Now. Obviously, your smartphone, you click in there, whatever podcast you're on, we're on every platform, iTunes Store, Google Play Store, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Odyssey, and then I'm on Rumble. I'm one of the guys banned on YouTube. I've been banned on YouTube for life.
Really? For life?
5,400 videos off of YouTube. I got banned on LinkedIn. Yeah.
What for?
For conservative values, for speaking about this. Can I say there's 4 things they don't want to hear, the Google boys. They don't want you to hear talk about abortion versus pro-life. They don't want you to hear talk about legal immigration. Look, my grandparents came from Italy for 2 weeks in a boat. They left everything. Yeah. Legal immigration. Yeah. So they don't want to talk about illegal alien. They mention illegal alien versus you can't mention that. And then number 3, election integrity. Mm-hmm. Can't talk about that. Right. And then number 4 is communism, socialism. Can't talk about that. They don't want to hear it. Something called artificial intelligence that will pick it up consistently. Right. And it had 5,400 videos, and we got banned for life. But they're messing with God, though, Michael. It's not good.
For life.
And then LinkedIn, LinkedIn too. It was an abortion on it because I have 20 contributors, and then the next way you guys can follow us and find me is also conservativebusinessjournal.com. Just the 3 words, conservativebusinessjournal.com. And every morning, 11 a.m., we will post the top 7 to 10 conservative articles, conservative writings. We have about 20 contributors. And I make sure when you go to our website, there's places to put your email in, so submit your email there and you get our updates. But we write conservative articles. Like that, the whole thing about the transgender, and hey, that's your deal. That's not your deal, Michael. But if that's your, but if I have my little niece and a guy walks in, it's wrong. I'm going to stand on it. I'm not veering from that. Right. I'm not fighting a guy. I'm like, go to the bathroom over here. Oh, you're not going to love me. I said, no, I can love you, but not agree with that decision. Right. I'm not fighting. Right. So that's but it's a war for the news. That's why. Because what's the Bible called? The good news.
I like that.
It's interesting.
Pathway to Success. What a great show we have this evening.
And then Michael, also our next event too, and I believe we're going to
Wait, yes.
My event I'm hosting is going to be over in August called We the People Fight Back Event.com.
We the People Fight Back Event.com.
Yeah.
Where will that be?
That will be in Naples, Florida. Naples Hilton, August 20th and 21st.
20th.
We have people already coming in from 18 different states. It's only limited to 200 people.
Yeah.
And we have 138 tickets already spoken for, and it's going to be a great event. We got some great speakers coming in. I have Dr. Linda Lee Tarver.
Really?
How much will Michael love Dr. Linda? She will tear up your show. She's awesome.
I'd love to have her on Pathway to Success.
She's awesome, Dr. Linda, and she's coming in from Michigan.
Yeah.
And she's an old Sunday school teacher.
Really?
She can preach the word, Dr. Linda. But she was in Michigan and noticed something wrong with integrity of the election.
Yes.
And she made a name for herself with integrity.
That's good.
She can preach the word, the young lady. She's good, Dr. Linda. I saw her speak at an event. I said, I'm going to get to know her. I bought her books. We created a great relationship. We love Linda. Dr. Linda should be in from Michigan. Great woman. You will, she'll go as long as me, if not longer, Linda, which is good.
A great mover and shaker, one that believes in great Christian and American values, one who has graced many platforms and has brought transformation to many lives, one who will stand up boldly in the face of opposition to stand for the moral values, Christian values of this nation, one who is distinguished, is set apart because his faith is in Christ Jesus. He is winning today and he will forever win.
And also, I just see real quick too on the chat too, for those of you, my wife is chatting. That's Christy Donovan Delemy is my wife. So on Facebook you can like her. You'll probably like her more than like me, but you can like her, follow her, friend her, and obviously you can see she's married to some guy that looks like me on her page.
And he's sitting right here in this beautiful American tie.
Yeah, I love your pastor too, Latoya. I love Dr. Michael. He's a real man. I know him behind the scenes. You guys, many of you know him from obviously the pulpit and the show, but he's a great guy, loving guy, caring guy, cares for his children, cares for the country, cares for the family.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you, brother.
That means so much to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
For being an inspiration that today we have Pathway to Success. I want you to join us next week at 5:30 for another inspirational interview, thought-provoking, a little controversial too, the Pathway to Success. And I want to thank you for joining us this week. Remember this: inspiration begins within you. Strive for great success because God has placed a gift in you.
Awesome.